did like 10 things to review each from each person in our committee. And we were kind of confused as to, like we were getting we were thinking that you guys didn't want us to review products yet, which is why we just created a list to review in the future. But it sounds like some people thought that we were supposed to be reviewing products, whereas some other people said not to like review anything yet. So we just wanted to know what you guys meant for us to do. Because so far, what we've been doing is just collecting stuff to review, but we haven't actually been reviewing things yet.
Yeah, so I think and Kate, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what we wanted you to do was to go ahead and look into potential like products, services that we were going to use in the future, but depending on what product kind of has to say about where we're going with the project, maybe don't start writing full on reviews yet, but kind of start thinking about them as services and products. Does that clarify your question?
Sorry, I just want to ask, by products, did you mean like tangible things like blankets or something like that?
I think I meant just like everything, like services and products.
Okay. I think Emily, Andrea, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you're supposed to be reviewing based like just like a whole like no like restrictions on what you're reviewing right now, and then as partnerships and PR narrow down who our intended audience is, then you'd narrow down. I think that's about right. But Emily, is that like?
Well, I think let's just I think we ought to hear from product and have that group discussion before we just clarify this, because it may all be different in a minute. You know what I mean? Like, I think it sounds like the update from content is we're not super clear what we're supposed to be doing, right? So that's good enough for now. And then let's hear from if partnerships has anything they want to share, and then let's jump into product and let them present and talk about it so that we can take that conversation and hopefully clarify for each committee what they want to be doing moving forward.
All right. Sounds good. So content, I made a note of the question, and yeah, just to know that it's there, and I can bring it up later, or you can too. So partnerships, if you have anything to share, go ahead.
Yeah, so since the last time we talked about meetings, we've had 3 meetings so far. We've had one with Laureate, one with Youth Services, and one with the Mental Health Association. Laureate, we talked about briefly the last time. That was Caleb's meeting, and then I had the Youth Services. We haven't yet talked about that. And this last Wednesday, 2 days ago, Michelle had the Mental Health Association. So I'm going to talk about the Youth Services meeting, and then Michelle is going to talk about the mental health. So the Youth Services, they gave a lot of great feedback, and from like what they said, it seemed like they would like to like partner and work with us. And they told us like if we were to like work with people with mental health problems, there would be like a legality issue if there were like simulation or anything, because it's like accessing this mental health barriers. Like we'll need like the legal guardian for mental health services, and like if we were to do like a simulation or something like that, there's like a fear of like what people share with like legal guardians and such. So we need to focus on that issue like afterwards. But after we figure everything out, that's an important issue. We proposed the simulation idea as well. We didn't exactly know what to say because we don't exactly know what it is. But they said they liked that an idea of a simulation for young people to understand what they're getting into and understand like what to access instead of like texting a number or something. And they talked about how it would be a good way to like tap into schools, like a way to reach everyone at once, like when it comes to teens, which Communication wise, I think Michelle will talk about that. And then there's another good idea that they talked about, like because a lot of people might have questions about the simulation or anything. So good like FAQs on the website would be a good idea to put on there. Just a random FAQs just to talk about what the simulation is about, what does it do, there's any questions that people might have, just to answer them all at once. They said they'll be open to partnering with us pretty much as long as we fix the legal problems. And then after that, it's pretty much free real estate. We can figure everything out. Personally, I've been to all three meetings, and I like the youth services because, first of all, they're focused on teens and youth. And second, if I'm correct, they sort of, along with the Schusterman Foundation, they like co-launched the first cohort, which is about like adolescent depression. So they have that mindset about like the mental health, and all the services that they do has that sort of mental health in the background. So I thought it would be a good idea, but we still have a lot more meetings coming up. So
Cool. Arjun, were you talking with David Grew?
no, I was talking with two people, the media person who his name was Brian Young, and then the family counseling director, her name was Mackenzie Chance.
Oh, okay, cool.
Um,
You guys remember David from the philanthropy panel? I don't know if you do or not, but he's the executive director at Youth Services, and he's a great connection.
So Chris asked about the legal problems. This is what Miss Jance was talking about, because she's a counselor. So whenever she was talking about like having like one-on-one meeting with people with mental health problems, there's always that fear of what counselors share with legal guardians. And because mental health is a sensitive topic, there is going to be some sort of legal problem, which we probably have to have maybe another meeting with somebody just to figure out exactly what it's about. But because it is a sensitive topic, there are like things you don't want to like offend people. Exactly. You don't want to like create like a negative connotation kind of thing. So there is some legality issue if anybody else from our committee wants to add on in that. But that's pretty much what I have. I liked the meeting. It was a very productive meeting and had a lot of great feedback. So yeah, that's youth services.
Great job. Thanks, Arjun.
So I met with Mental Health Association of Oklahoma, and basically she said that they couldn't partner with us, but she could connect us with people that would work with us. In a couple months, if we have more of a tangible idea of what we're doing, we can meet with like a bunch of different department heads from like the Tulsa Health Department, like children, family and children's services and whatnot. So she said she would be open to helping us. And we ran both of the like curriculum and simulation ideas by her. And she said both were good because either way, as long as it comes from teams, it will work. But she said we might run into like legal problems with curriculum and it'd be hard to implement in schools because there's that fear of talking about mental health. And simulation, I'm not sure if we explained it correctly, but she said she liked the idea of just teaching people how to recognize warning signs and whatnot, but that was basically it. So Arjun, if you have anything you want to add on, you can.
I remember them talking about like with connecting to other people, they have their own partnerships committee. So like they have like 75 different organizations that come together just to focus on problems. So it'll be good at that time if we reach out to them and see if we can get into that meeting and talk about in our project and get feedback and advice based on like actual experts all around Oklahoma. So yeah, as far as like connecting with people, I think Mental Health Association will be a good like resource to use. So yeah. Does anyone
Awesome.
else like have any questions or anything?
Guys, I just want to say a couple things. One, I think, way to go, partnerships. I know it's like daunting to organize some of these meetings and stuff, but that's awesome. That's so awesome. If anything, you guys have just gained some invaluable experience by like communicating with professionals, demonstrating that you're competent and that you probably know more than they do. And no, anyway, I'm really impressed that you've already met with 3 major players in the mental health field in our city. That, I mean, if you think about, I mean, Adam, when you agree, like Mental Health Association, Youth Services, Laureate, like those are like some of the top players and that are doing work with this population. That's really cool. The other thing I'll say is, don't get too hung up at this stage in the game on the nitty gritty of the feedback you receive. If you remember, it's just like kind of cultivating a relationship to see, should we continue the conversation? That's all. So if you get feedback like, oh, I don't know about the legal issues with that, or, oh, it's good to make note of it. It's good to say, okay, we need to be mindful of this. We're hearing from a lot of professionals. We should be mindful, and we will. So, but it doesn't have to, their feedback doesn't have to be like oh, we can't go this way. Does that make sense? Of course, there's going to be legal issues because there are young people involved and because you guys are tackling mental health. So there's sensitivities and things like that that we can manage. It's no big deal. But anyway, just don't be discouraged if you continue to hear that feedback. It's just things for us to consider, and it's not a a stop what we're doing kind of thing. Would you agree, Adam? Cool.
I think that this is all really important conversation, because why do this? Why go and meet with those people? You don't have your project yet. Why do it? There's reasons. I'm not, I'm asking it in a way to kind of force you to come up with them. It's not a criticism. You should be doing it, but why? Let me ask this. Is the best time to network, would you think, not that you would know this, you're in your careers, is the best time to network when you have a job or when you need a job?
When you need a job.
Okay, that is one answer. And what's another one? No, I mean, right, it's a trick question. It's a trick question, because when you want to be making friends without having the need, oh, I need a job, that's why I'm talking to you. Hey, I have a job, I'm gainfully employed, I like what I'm doing, but I hear what you're up to. I'm curious, I like to learn more. Is there ways I can support you in what you're doing? And it's just good to know each other. What are you about? Cool, And then over time, like you've developed a network. And a network represents potential. It may not be actual yet. You don't know. A network isn't going to necessarily guarantee you, but a network is a web of potential relationships and resources. And so as you do it in college, when you meet your professors, take a time out, stay after class, get to know them, find out where they went to graduate school. Why? Because that may be where you should apply to graduate school, because they will have already known the professors there. Why would they already know the professors at the graduate school you'd want to go to? They graduated from there. So I didn't mean to say it like that's snarky, but like networking, there's not an immediate reward, right? Like you didn't get, you got knowledge. So there was some immediate reward. That's true. There's that, but you don't get, there's potentials that you could be building, and I'll stop there, but that's what I feel like you've been doing. Not all those places after meeting them, would you say, I want to partner with them? You might say, no, after meeting with them, I don't want to partner with them. That's one of the reasons you do it. But that they might ask questions. They might say, well, why are you doing this? You'd be like, I don't know. We haven't thought about that. And you might feel dumb after that, because I've had meetings like that where I've just left feeling dumb. That's not the point. The point's not to feel dumb. The point is you just got new knowledge, and you just got new resources. You got smarter. So those are some reasons to network. I am not the world's best networker. I'm a terrible networker, but I believe in it.
Awesome. So with that, does anybody have any questions for partnerships? We'll probably start answering them once we hear from product, but if you have any questions, I can jot them down. All right, if you think of any by chance, well, I want you to listen to product like avidly, but if you think of any, you can private message me or put them in the chat. But all right, I'm excited to hear from product. You guys can take it away.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen and then just say things for just gonna present the simulation, and then Leah and Kate are gonna go with the curriculum. So let me share my screen. Okay,
Hey,
can everyone hear me?
Hey, Sterling, you're when you turned your video off, it got a little bit better, but we could barely understand you.
Okay.
So try,
Someone else go.
why don't you try turning your video off and saying a few things and see if that helps first.
Wait, so you wanted me to turn my camera off?
Yeah, when your camera's off, your feed is like we can understand you, I think. Say something else.
Okay. If you guys like can't hear me at any point, just say something. Okay.
Okay,
So
that's
I
good.
was just gonna
talk
say,
slowly.
okay. So I was I was just gonna say a few things. But I'm gonna share my screen. Okay. Is it good? Hello?
It's not sharing, Sterling. It was starting to share for a bit and then it just kind of cut out.
Okay.
Krish, screen
Let's have someone
share.
else share.
Krish, do you mind screen sharing?
Yeah.
Yay.
Can you guys see my screen? Yeah or no?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Sterling, go ahead.
Well, no, I feel like I'm laggy.
Okay, fine. I'll just go ahead with the simulation then.
But wait. Hold on. Sterling, will you try it with your camera off? Because didn't it sound better to everybody else with her? I just want to hear from lots of voices. If it doesn't work in a minute, I will give up. And
Okay, I'll try again.
okay.
It's literally just like a few things. We were just saying how we thought we could do another aspect of the project, so we just looked into a couple, which were the simulation and the education. But if anyone like brainstorms and comes up with like another idea, like it was just saying, don't hesitate to reach out to someone from product, because we could also like look into that. Also, we would just love everyone's input so that no one is like, we didn't want people to think we were trying to like take over this. And then so after the presentation, if we're still like undecided, then we'll just discuss more. So yeah.
Okay, so the first idea we had was a simulation. And this is just like initial draft. So obviously there's gonna be a lot of changes to this and everything's kind of in the preliminary phase. But I kind of did my best job to make an outline. So I'm not gonna read this off because you guys can obviously read this. I'm just gonna summarize it for you. So the first thing that I was thinking was that we'd find which issues have the least awareness. And I think the best way to do this would be like a Google Forms. So I actually created one to show kind of what this would look like. So, age is technically not even relevant, to be honest. I just created like a generic Google form, and these would not be the mental health illnesses or issues either. These are just some examples that are common and popped up in my head at the time. And they would just, rank their familiarity with 1 being lowest and 10 being highest. And it would help us gauge where people's awareness are surrounding the different issues. So it'd be a good way of collecting data for our targeted audience which, I was assuming would be teens. So that's why I put the ages 13 to 19. And in the end of the document, there's an option for them to select whether they're currently experiencing any of the following. And if they are, then are they receiving proper assistance or not? Another way to gauge, how teens are dealing with this, if they are, and if they aren't. So like, they're not receiving proper assistance. So the next thing, after we find out which issues have the least awareness, we'll be breaking up into committees of those issues. So I know there would be like probably 10 or so, which is just a number I came up with off the top of my head. But what I was thinking we'd do is break up into committees of 5 and go through the first 5 committees for a certain duration, and then go through the next 5 issues in the second duration and become super knowledgeable about them, create Google Docs, and just consume as much knowledge as we can about them and learn about them ourselves. And after that, we'd finally start developing a simulation. And that simulation would include skill building activities that would help make people aware of the issues that they were previously not aware about. So for example, I put an example out for anxiety, like what they would see after the simulation or after they participated in the skill building activity, what pamphlet they would see. So this would be something for anxiety. And I know this is super long, you don't have to read it. It's just an example of what it would be. And also after a participant completed the simulation or a skill building activity, we'd guide them back to the website, because the website has all that information and the resources which participants can use for future steps. And also skill building activities, that was the confusing part for us, just because it's hard to decide right now like what those skill building activities would be without much research. But I came up with a few, and they're just suggestions, so they're totally subject to change. They were some breathing routines / exercises, or solely talking for 3 minutes, or solely listening. Fear in the hat, I thought that one was kind of cool, where you put your fears in a hat and then you talk about them. So I don't know, does anyone have any questions or concerns or just feedback around it that would kind of help me gauge how everyone's feeling about it?
Somebody do this. After you've heard that information, restate it to Krish and the product group to make sure you heard what they're trying to communicate.
All right, so what I got from that is that first we would create a Google form that has different mental illnesses, and we would survey our community of teenagers and see their familiarity on each subject. Then we would assess which ones are the least familiar and gain a knowledge within the cohort about those issues so that we could be knowledgeable on those issues ourselves. Then that's where I kind of lost it.
Okay,
somebody pick up after her.
Right. So
after
everything
we have the forms, then we would see the top 5 things that people aren't very familiar with, and we'd make committees surrounding those, and we'd be in those for a certain amount of time, and we'd try to learn all we could about those, and then we would go into the next 5 that were the least familiar, and then from there we would draft the thing, I think, right?
What I understood was the information gathering was so we'd just be fully equipped to plan out the simulation in different skill developing situations.
I think that pretty much sums it up.
I do have a question, if we're ready for questions.
Go for it.
How long would it take us to assess? Okay, let's see. Would we be assessing the familiarity on these mental illnesses before we launch the project or while we're launching the project? because I'm imagining that it would take us quite a while to become familiar with a certain topic enough to where we can form a whole simulation or a skill building activity around it. And eventually we would have to pass it off to someone else.
So, I don't have a clear-cut answer to your question, to be honest, but I think while we're becoming knowledgeable about these illnesses and issues, it would be beneficial to start thinking of ideas of ways we could implement them.
Yeah.
That makes sense or answers your question.
Yeah, I understand the whole process, or the whole process of getting information. I'm just wondering about how, like, time-wise, how
Well,
could that be used?
I think becoming informed and locating, what is least aware or what people are not
Oh.
knowledgeable about in communities. Oh, go ahead.
Actually, I think I might be seeing a disconnect. So for me, I'm imagining this is a process that goes on while the website or whatever we have is already posted. But I'm wondering if you're thinking that this is we create a set of skills or simulations for these mental illnesses and then launch those with the website as a whole and then not update the simulation. Is that what you mean?
Sorry, could you say that again?
Yeah, so for example, what I was imagining it as is like, so we have a website already and it has different reviews on products, apps, websites, and stuff like that that people can use to use as outlets or to alleviate their mental illness. And then like for like every couple of months there'd be a new simulation that comes out that me as a user could participate in. Is that not what it is?
A new simulation every time? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I imagined it. So you can kind of see why I would think it's hard to keep up with as an idea. But is that not what you were thinking of?
I'm not sure. Actually a cohort decision. So I was thinking initially when I created the outline that it would be just one simulation. And after they participated in that simulation for extra resources and everything, they'd go to the website and everything would tie together and, mesh together really well.
Okay.
Because,
Okay, so that would make more sense. That would make
I'm
more
not
sense
sure like
time-wise.
mental health issues are going to change every month, that we need to
No,
create
no.
new simulations
Well, I was
tailored to them
thinking,
every
I was thinking not new simulations for the same mental illness. I feel like I thought you were I thought you were getting committees to be knowledgeable about a set of mental illnesses because you're going to make a simulation for each one of them. But I understand now. I get it. So now it's
Oh,
more
no, not a
sustainable in my head.
simulation for each one.
Yeah, yeah.
Skill building
Okay.
activities to help with each one, if that makes sense. No?
Okay. Okay. I kind of get it. It seems more sustainable in my head now than what I first thought it was.
Okay.
I just want to ask a clarifying question, kind of what Emily was saying, like if you don't understand something fully, kind of like repeat it back to them. So the simulation would be like one simulation, but like that's an umbrella, and then underneath that would be like different skill building activities for each
Yeah,
topic.
so I don't think the simulation should just be one like 3-minute skill building activity. I think it should be like combined, like a few skill building activities that tie together,
Okay.
like not just one, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, that clarifies things for me. Thank you.
Perfect. All right, Leah and Kate, do you want to go ahead to education now?
Yes, I'll go ahead and share the.
All right, perfect.
Okay. Okay. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so basically we came up with like the education like curriculum idea because I'm in this one program at my school where we write like a 10-page research paper and then we do like a little like project or like expand on the research paper after we do that. It's like hard to explain. But anyway, this one girl who's in the program with me was telling me that she did one on a research paper of how like teachers and like students are like unaware of like recognizing signs of like people with like the undiscussables, whether it's like an eating disorder or like anxiety or something like that, and it is unable, like doesn't know what to do even if they do recognize the signals of it. So we kind of like made this education curriculum outline about that. So Leah, go ahead.
Okay, and also just one more thing, kind of before we dive into this. So as we were reviewing like this outline and the simulation outline kind of as a committee, we realized that there are actually a lot of similarities between doing a simulation and then having like a complete education-based curriculum, just because the goal is to do, I mean, the goal is the same ultimately. It's to educate people on how to recognize mental illnesses, or just really to educate them on signs of mental illnesses like anxiety, depression, whatever, you name it. And so as we kind of started working on this curriculum outline, we also realized it's going to be, as a committee, we felt we couldn't have a set in stone like curriculum to present to you all, because if we decide to take this path or this route, then it needs to be kind of decided on as a cohort. So what this outline does is it basically lays out how we felt we could design a curriculum and implement a curriculum. So those are the two things that we're mainly going to be discussing today, and basically how it relates back to the website as well. So the first thing that of course is super important is how we're going to put this new program into practice and how it's going to be an addition to the website. And so what this process, kind of like I was saying, the process here entails a much more in-depth and systematic approach to both development and implementation of a curriculum addition to the website. And instead of assuming that the process ends with the publication or the release of this new curriculum, an effective curriculum committee continues to oversee the implementation, updating, and evaluation of the curriculum. So that's just something that we wanted to be sure to express before we dive into how we think we should design the curriculum. So one of the first things is, of course, find the vision, focus, and objectives of the student. And in this case, the student doesn't necessarily need to be a high school student, but just whoever we're teaching this curriculum to. And that could be a teacher as well, like a teacher at a high school, or kind of like Kate was saying, how the girl was informing students and teachers of how to recognize mental illnesses. That could attain to that as well. So the curriculum addition to the project would allow us to connect with teen students or teachers who are not directly affected by mental health issues, but are an acquaintance to someone who is affected by a mental health issue. And one of the goals or one of the focuses of the curriculum would be to provide them with enough information to identify when that person is struggling with a mental health issue, and then have the tactics to properly approach the individual. So then the next step would be identify specific resources necessary. So when forming this curriculum, we want to be sure that it forms relationships with reliable organizations in Tulsa that would not only increase the credibility of our reputation, but the curriculum itself. And so that's also something we need to consider while creating this curriculum. We need to collect and devise certain materials. So one of the great things about already having a website is the website would be the home base for our project. So basically what the curriculum would be doing is it would be going into an organization or classroom, or just speaking to individuals on how to educate them on these mental health issues, and then directing them to our website. So this is kind of where the simulation and then this, the simulation edition and then this curriculum edition kind of blend, because the simulation is obviously a more hands-on experience, but the curriculum would be having a similar process or a similar goal. And then one of the last things is we would have to develop the process and make sure to create an adequate student experience. So the portion of the process, this is what needs to really be left up to the cohort, is these specific things that we decide to put into this curriculum. So we feel that as a cohort, we can form large ideas and then delegate certain details to other committees or specific committee members themselves to develop and form a process, which would be the key component to this aspect of the project. And then the student's experience is obviously determined by these details. So referring to the previous paragraph, this is obviously going to be left for later discussion. And then Kate's going to go into a little bit of how we would implement this curriculum.
Yes, so for implementation, a big thing is like obviously some like schools and clubs and like different organizations are like already doing stuff similar to this. So we can go in and like observe those and see like if they're working, if it's impactful, if it's like actually helping people and being effective, and then kind of use that to help us form the basis of ours and like go in and help them, or like go and bring it to schools that like need help with it and don't have any like basis at all. And the next thing we would do is contact potential partners, which partnerships has already done, and they can help us kind of, because we're like obviously not professionals with like the undiscussable, so they can help guide us and make sure our curriculum is actually like legit and like not like, you know, not like just like what we think it is, but what it actually is like. And then we pitch the idea to schools, and we go in with our partners, since they definitely will be more trustworthy than like, you know what I'm saying, like they'll be there with us, so schools will understand that like this is an actual like this is an actual curriculum that we have put research and time into. It's been checked over by professionals, and then we can go to them and see if they want to implement it in their schools or other organizations and programs.
So really, ultimately, the big difference between an education edition and then the simulation edition is education would just be us creating this curriculum and then going into, you know, fill in the blank organization or school and teaching people or making people aware of these issues. And then the simulation would be doing a similar thing in a smaller group environment and actually trying to kind of explain then what steps do you take after you recognize these issues. And that's the end of the education outline. So I'll go ahead and stop sharing. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask.
Okay, use the same technique that we did after Krish talked. A couple of you just like say back to Leah and Kate what you heard to make sure we all understand.
Um, I think unlike Krish's, theirs has like their steps are kind of like, I would say, more separate. So it's not like some steps I heard how like we can depend on partners to help us know that we're going in the right direction. And I know that one of their other steps was to like kind of get feedback from teens in our community to see like what we need to focus on. And I think I really liked it. I think it was super like well thought out. And I loved how detailed everything was. I think, yeah, sorry. I just know there were like a bunch of really like a bunch of steps, but as a whole, I just think what they really want to get at is that we really need to make sure that we have enough opinions and feedback and like background information in order to put this forward, and that we really need to focus on like our students, whether they're like teachers or actual students, teenagers, parents, stuff like that.
And yes, I know that was a lot of information at once. We just, as like a committee, we agreed we wanted to be sure that these presentations were as detailed and as laid out as they could be. So if any part of that was confusing, or really if you guys need like any clarity at all, feel free to ask questions.
I think
Could you put those two documents on Basecamp? Would that be okay? Thank you.
I think that the steps for the curriculum proposition was very clear. I feel like they were very clear. They're really linear in a way. And something whenever I think Leah and Kate also said that there are a lot of similarities between the curriculum goals and the simulation goals. I was wondering if this curriculum, the steps, imagine if they were to come after the simulation, you know?
Yes, and that's kind of like one thing that Kate and I actually discussed whenever we were kind of planning this presentation is that this could almost be like a basis for the simulation. Or, I mean, just because they're so similar in so many aspects, they could end up becoming kind of one. But we, of course, wanted to present each like individually to you
Yeah.
guys so that you could so that you could understand both aspects very
it's
clearly.
both. Go ahead.
Okay, I thought that the steps that Krish said in gathering which mental illness to like focus on was really clear. And I also think that your guys' steps on how to actually go about doing it and implementing it were also really clear. And I think that they would actually line up pretty well if you were to arrange them like that.
Yeah, because both really start off with us like understanding and researching how to researching like the mental illnesses and then like how to present them. So it's like both start off, but the simulation takes it like one step further.
Yeah, and I think like, well, just another part of this is also we wanted to be sure and keep the website as like kind of what I said in the presentation, like our home base. So ultimately at the end of the simulation or at the end of like a presentation of this curriculum, you're guiding these students to our website. Because these, of course, are just additions we would be making. And so we wanted to make it clear that the website would still be like our main, it would be our home base for the project.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Good job.
In the chat, Kayla sent something, and I haven't read it yet, but I just wanted to read it out loud. Oh, Chris just responded to it. It says, I don't know if I said this clearly, but I meant Chris's steps seemed more to build off of each other, and I feel like the steps in Leah and Kate's presentation could be worked on simultaneously. And then Chris said both projects guide back towards the website. Just wanted to catch up on the chat.
And of course, we kind of like we've said, one of the biggest things is understanding like how you guys feel about either of these additions. So if anyone has any like comments on whether they think it would be a good idea to try to combine the two, use one as a basis for the other, or keep it separate, like what are your thoughts on adding either of these to our website?
I mean, I like both ideas. I feel like it's hard right now because we don't have like a super clear idea about like the simulation. So it's kind of hard for me to like choose between them because like I would like, it's like we obviously can't make like a final thing of the simulation right now. But because we can't do that, it's like hard for me to like envision what the two could look like. So I like them both. So that's like we probably could like use them as a basis for each other or something. But yeah.
My question, and I don't know if I don't think you'll have an answer yet, but it's something to kind of think about, or maybe you do have an answer. What are we trying to teach, or what are we trying to simulate? Because I felt like I know you might not have an answer for that yet, but I'm having a difficulty of like grasping what the curriculum or simulation could look like because I don't know what we're trying to teach or what we're trying to simulate.
Well, I know for the education and curriculum one, we really wanted to have a curriculum that like helped students, teachers, and like other teens like be able to identify when someone has like an undiscussable or like a mental illness or whatever, and then be able to help like lead them in the right direction which would be to our website where they could have a list of resources to get help. Because obviously we aren't trying to like teach teens and like teachers and stuff to like be therapists and like be the help that they need. We want them to lead them to the help.
Right. And kind of like exactly what Caleb was saying, it's raising awareness about these mental health issues. So really just raising awareness on like how individuals who might not be suffering from one of these issues can help another person who is, or can identify that someone is struggling with one of these and make it less of an undiscussable. That's the goal ultimately.
Yeah.
Okay, that clarifies things a lot. Thank you.
Adam, did you want to say something?
I did after you say something. Or first, it doesn't matter.
I don't know. Maybe we're going to say the same thing. I don't know. But you go. I want to listen. I'm taking some notes and processing.
All right, yeah. So I don't think that, or I don't know that simulation and curricula are different. I think that simulation is a really powerful way to deliver a curricula, whatever the singular is. I leave it for you to research it and find out. I know the answer, but you need to find out for yourselves. I teach you to fish, you see. Now, so I think that you have a real opportunity. You're in the right space. You're on the green, using a golf metaphor, so this is a great place to be, and you can shape it. And what questions and what do you use to shape your answers to the questions you're having now?
Yes, Adam, I totally agree. As we kind of went into more depth on both of these potential additions, we realized how similar they are and how curriculum really could act as like a basis for a simulation. And honestly, I feel like is anyone opposed to the idea of having this addition to the website? Like, does everyone feel pretty good about it?
Maybe even use like the reactions thing that Adam was using earlier to answer Leah. Leah, why don't you say your question again?
Is anyone opposed to, I'm going to try to form this in like a yes or no question. So is anyone opposed to the idea of having an addition to the website? So no, you're not opposed, or yes, you feel like we should not add this.
Wait, I'm confused. Yes means that you are opposed?
Yes, sorry, I realize I probably said that in like the most complicated way possible. Okay, so what I'm gathering from this is everyone is on board with the idea.
So I want to say too, the simulation approach, it's a way to to get people in having an experience. Think of like, it's not the same thing at all, but it's like a breakout room. It's like it's an experience. You're like a tangible experience with other people. It's structured. It's immersive, which I think is really important. And then it's going to give you a time and exposure with your audience, so that you can give them a real meaningful experience, and then resources to follow up. So that's why they can work in tandem. Your simulation could teach people skills, which is part of your curriculum. And then it can encourage them to go online where there's other information and tools that they have, which it also has access to more curriculum.
Okay, so I have a question. I know a project is supposed to be targeted toward teens, but does that mean that like we are teaching teens how to identify signs, or are we teaching teens plus adults how to identify signs in teens? I'm just a little bit confused.
I definitely feel like that's something we can discuss within the cohort, like how we feel which route we want to go. In the outline, we kind of said like teachers and students, just because I feel like our main goal in the project was not necessarily like keeping it limited to teens, but to teens and like our like method, but in our end goal, we wanted to like help teens, like narrow it down to like the teens in that sense, because like teachers do like teaching teachers how to identify the signs in students, that I feel like they would be able to identify better than maybe students would, you know, just because they're like wiser and older.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like this is something that, I mean, we want to, of course, be sure, and our goal is that this is impacting teens in a positive way. So it's really targeted at the teens, but in the process, if we're also informing adults about the issue, then that's okay too. But of course, like Kate said, this is something that we can discuss as a cohort and come to a decision on.
Yeah, the reason I asked that was just because I know that teachers have to like take this course before school starts or something about like school safety. So I thought that would be another way we could implement our project, having this be something that teachers could do as well.
I thought that was a really good question, Ria. And I was kind of having the same thoughts, and that was, as I'm listening to you guys talk, it sounds like you all have reached consensus that, hey, adding this into our project is great. But the bigger question is really, what is it that we're trying to teach, right? You've sort of just reached consensus on like advancing your method. And so what is the purpose of that? So just as an exercise, I asked Ria if she'd pull up your purpose statement, your very original purpose statement. And I want her to read it to us and just be thinking, okay, now we've sort of feel like we have some clarity on where our method is headed. What is it as a cohort that we want our project to teach and communicate? I heard you say several different things in this discussion. I heard you say raise awareness. I heard someone talk about building skills to combat mental health issues. I heard someone talk about teaching the skills to identify mental health issues in another person, which is different, right? And then I also heard somebody say being a gateway to resources. So those are all similar, but not the same. So think about that. And then let's just take a moment together and listen to Ria. Thank you, Ria. Ria R. Read our purpose statement again and be thinking, what is it that we want to teach together? What have we set out to do when we started this project?
Yeah, so our most recent purpose statement was, our purpose is to alleviate the unnecessary suffering teens experience due to a lack of known outlets for productively addressing topics deemed as undiscussables. And that was updated in November.
Okay, read it a couple more times.
Okay, I can share my screen so it can be seen as well. So,
and I would like some dramatic interpretation. I would like somebody with a theater background to act it out as she reads it. I'm just kidding. That would be cool though, but.
Our purpose is to alleviate the unnecessary suffering teens experience due to a lack of known outlets for productively addressing topics deemed as undiscussables. I'm going to put it in the chat as well so you can look back at it.
In the chat, Ria K said, hearing that the project seems to be going in a very different direction. So with that, do you think we need to adjust our project, our problem statement?
Well, I mean, I feel like the website, how we have it right now, is the aspect that like addresses the lack of known outlets. And I feel like this component is just because that was supposed to be like our MVP or whatever. So I feel like there's still that aspect in it, but it's just not the aspect that we're talking about right now. If that makes any sense.
Me and Leah were just discussing it, and we feel like the curriculum, because we were like wanting to help have like the people guide the kids suffering with mental illnesses to the websites. So that's kind of like helping them become known of a resource, which is our website, which leads to the other resources.
Yeah, so the curriculum would basically be making these students aware of the resources, like that the resources are there, and then the website would be where you actually find the resources, if that makes sense. At least that's what we were kind of discussing, but obviously whatever you guys feel as a cohort.
Yeah, I think I saw that more with the curriculum, where it would be based on what like Leah and Kate were explaining, where through the curriculum, we're kind of teaching them how to identify and essentially lead people to the website, which is leading to the known resources. So making outlets known in a sense, whereas the simulation kind of did what Adam just kind of pointed out, developing those key skills to address those mental health issues. So I think that's kind of something that we have to decide what route we want to take. I'm like thinking through my like thought process right now. So
Yeah, I want to chime in too, guys. First of all, I want to say this is amazing. This is good. I'm going to actually turn my lights on for this because I want to say a few things. Because what happened today is something I try to teach to clients. And I'll ask you this question. When I say these two ideas, two words, advocacy and inquiry, what do you see as a relationship between them? Advocating for something and inquiring into something. Any thoughts on that?
Advocating is like trying to teach other people, I guess, and then inquiring is trying to teach yourself.
And we've seen so much of that today. Like, I have an idea, so I want to advocate for it. And there's different levels of effectiveness of it. How clear am I? How compelling am I? And other factors. And when I get in advocacy mode, which I kind of am in right now, I want to advocate this idea to you. I want to teach you to know the difference between when to advocate and when to inquire. Because there's times that I've advocated and I was meeting resistance, or other people had some thoughts, and really what I needed to do was let other people own the idea and kind of attach themselves to it and build onto it. But I'm too busy advocating, so then I don't allow that to happen. And then people start building up resistance. Or maybe it is time to advocate. Other times I should inquire. And I saw that today too. I have a question. I don't understand. And I'll tell you, a mistake I see so often is when people advocate when they should inquire. And it's a real kind of, I think it's wisdom to know the difference. When should I advocate? And when should I ask the question? When should I inquire? So I'll stop there, see any reactions to any of that. Excellent discussion, because maybe in your minds you were wrestling with it, advocacy versus inquiry. Just practice with it, maybe over the weekend with your family. Like when you want to say, Mom, Dad, I need that. You might say, Mom, Dad, I have a question. I was interested. I wanted to find out, what are your views on this? Or have you ever experienced this? Or I don't know. I'll stop there. That was my little, I don't know. I was really impressed with you all as a group and how you handled a very high level, complicated discussion. It was awesome. last thing, we should probably take a break. We probably have gone as far as we can with like advancing these ideas. Now let's rest. Let's take a step back. And I think we've done a lot of work of advancing, and let's take a moment to take a step back and relax our brains a moment.
Yeah, so I think that's a perfect segue. So we're going to take a 5-minute break and we will be back for a team building activity. So we'll see you in 5 minutes.
Good to see everybody's coming back.
I agree, Adam. I wish this could like replace a class, preferably
Yeah.
like calc or something.
Yep.
I think we have pretty much everyone back. So this game is going to take a little bit to like explain, just because like logistically this is a game that we would usually play like in person, but we tried to adjust it to work virtually. So we'll see how this goes. So basically the point of the game, I'm just going to kind of go into how this works. So you're going to be each in groups, and this is a competition, and we're going to have Adam and Emily judge. So basically your team, there was a murder, and your team is trying to figure out who was the murderer. And we didn't have evidence, except we have a picture of the person, and only one person saw it. So you're trying to explain and describe how this person looks for the forensic sketch artist, which is basically the rest of your group. And only one person can see the photo of the person. So basically, you're going to see that photo. So choose one person, and there's a link online on the agenda. And once you decide who that one person is that's going to be describing, they go to the link, and each group has like, it's like specific, like there isn't, it's going to be different for each group. So it's like randomized. So even if you like try to cheat and like go on and try to see like what your describer is trying to describe, it's going to give you a different photo. So only one, the agenda, I sent it out in Campfire a few days ago, so it should be there. So you have one describer, and basically they're going to open up the link, and they'll have a picture of the photo. And using the Zoom whiteboard, so basically you press share screen and you press whiteboard, you can have one person to start to draw. And if you've noticed before, when someone's sharing their screen, there's like a drop down, and if you press like the menu thingy, you can annotate, so multiple people can be drawing on the whiteboard at once. And so basically you're going to have 10 minutes to sketch as detailed as possible how this person looks based on your describer's description, and try to save it, or like try to like use the snipping tool, or like screenshot it and save it, and save the photo of the actual person. And you're going to screen share, and then Adam and Emily will decide which team is the closest to their person. Are there any questions?
Are we going to be in breakout rooms?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
going to be in breakout rooms.
Is it like a two-person team?
A what?
Is it a two-person team? Like only 2 people per team?
No, so I think there's like almost up to 5 people in a group. 1 person describing and 4 people drawing, and 1 person can share their screen with the Zoom whiteboard. And there's like an option. So I don't know how to like show it to you because you can't see it when someone like 2 people can't share it once. But there's a drop down when someone's sharing their screen. And if you go to that drop down and press the rightmost arrow, there's an option to annotate. And if you click annotate, multiple people can draw on the whiteboard at once. Are there any other questions? Make sure to screenshot your drawing, and then whoever's the describer, don't reload the page because then it gives you a new person. Are there any questions? Okay, then I know some like I'm pretty sure these are like real people, and like I hope they got their consent to take photos of them. But yeah, 10 minutes on the clock. Let's go catch a killer. I know. It said, well, not real people. And I was just like, well, technically, don't they have to be real to like, I don't even know.
Guys, Ria did a great job of explaining that. It's very complicated instruction manual. Great job, Ria, because this looks like a very fun game, for sure.
I just keep clicking the link over and over again and seeing the different things.
Yeah.
It's kind of alarming. I don't know why.
The fact that they have that many photos is crazy.
My brother was actually talking to me about this. Apparently, they're all like computer generated. So I'm sure there's someone that looks like them in real life, but a computer made them like not based off of real people.
They're so real.
If that makes sense.
Like they have like expression lines, and I have a lot of follow-up questions.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
If we can't get like the whiteboard on Zoom to work, should we just draw it individually and like kind of show each other it?
Yeah, that works. Yeah. The whiteboard should be able to work because I think everyone should be able to share their screen. I'm just a little worried about the annotation thing, but if you have any questions in that, I can ask Kate to send me over.
I am not the host right now.
Oh, I think Adam got host abilities back.
Okay, sorry. Okay. Well, now I will be making the breakout rooms. So if you guys have any more questions that you want to go over. Sorry, I should have said something earlier. I realized.
Can you say hi? Hi. Hi. Okay. She is the one that always sneaks in.
Future YPIers right there.
All right. I have breakout rooms pretty well made now. So I will send everybody out, and yeah, just don't forget to screenshot the person and the drawing. Okay, see you soon.
Hello, Avit.
Name.
Oh, we're friends.
Adam. Can you tell him where you're going in a minute?
We're going to Daddy's house in a minute.
You're going to your
house, yeah.
That's really great.
What are you gonna do there?
I just got a present and I'm gonna name it a fire dog.
A fire dog.
It's from Paw Patrol.
It's talking about a show called Paw Patrol that he likes.
I like that. That's really fun. Hello, how are you doing, Ella?
Nothing really.
Nothing. Are you going somewhere soon?
We're going to Daddy's house.
Dustin and I were gonna like get away for a weekend.
Yeah, this weekend.
This weekend. So Dustin's parents are very kind, and they're gonna come get the kids at noon and still keep them for the night. So
that's very exciting.
Yeah, they've been pumped. They're having a slumber party.
That's gonna be so much fun. I bet you're gonna get good food, and there'll probably be games too.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yep.
And let's see if Gabby has some socks.
Some
He doesn't have socks in those boots.
Oh, he's not. Okay, cool. Okay, you guys, we're gonna keep doing our meeting. So go find Daddy. Okay.
Good to see you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you. Sorry, he was like wailing outside the door, like he wanted to say hi. And Justin was like pulling him. I was like, just let him come say hi for a minute.
Honestly, anytime. Well, the students love it. I think they think it's really cute. I really do. I think they love seeing your kids and you're modeling being a good family person.
Oh boy. Or modeling, how people are juggling work and children and online.
Oh, it's the reality. It's juggling family and work-life balance. That's all, So
before we share, how intense was that?
Very intense. And it was also really hard because we have computers. And so we
yeah.
The last 20 seconds was a race to finish the final details, which was funny.
Yeah, usually this game is played like in person, like it's an in-person team building activity. So we had to modify it a bit to like fit virtually, but I hope it was some sort of doable. So we had, I want to say 4 rooms.
Yes.
So room number 1, do you want to kind of share your screen and for all of us and Adam and Emily to see, and Adam and Emily, if you can kind of make note of which ones look the closest. That way you can judge.
We got this. There's no way we're messing this up. Not a chance.
Wait, Kate, were we room number 1?
I believe so, yes.
Oh, okay.
Real quick, what are we judging again?
All right.
Accuracy.
Okay.
You guys see it?
Yes.
So the left is the person I described, and the right is the person they drew.
Okay.
I'd say it's fairly accurate if you were to ask me.
Okay. I
Very
feel
great.
like I really should take some notes. Like, hold on. I gotta open my notes app here. Okay. Okay, I think I've Adam. Oh my god.
Wait, real quick. Is this a group's drawing or is this one person's?
It was a group effort.
It was
All right.
I'm
So
just-
I'm
though,
just
'cause-
looking and I'm taking notes, right? I got
Because
this.
the annotate feature wasn't working.
I have total confidence in us, guys. All right, good.
All right.
All right, should I stop when sharing?
Yeah, I think I'm
Ria,
good.
should I stop sharing?
Yeah, you can go ahead and stop sharing. Thank you. The second group was my group. So to kind of get a sense of what we were looking at, hold up, let me pull up the person's face.
I don't know that you should be allowed an explanation, to be honest. I think you should, I'm just saying, the last group didn't have it.
Just let the photo speak.
So that's the
This
face.
is not how you describe this dude, Ria.
I told you I'm bad at describing.
No, you guys don't go breaking down in public
I'm
now.
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
I'll share
Miranda,
I'll share this.
Miranda has the photos. Yeah.
Let me share a screenshot. I actually changed midway through to just doing it on paper though. So that is
I think our group did better because we.
no, but wait. But
Okay,
I-
and what did we
Guys,
ask? We
just
that's
saying, so
Emily
we
and
presented
Adam.
better.
Hold on. Have you gotten a good look, Emily and Adam?
Miranda's is
Ignore
good.
the blue one. Ignore the blue one because I'm gonna replace that with an in-person drawing.
Look at mine. The brown one is good.
I feel like I have a good look here. I feel like I do.
Okay, you got a good look. Now this is the one that I drew.
Doesn't count though.
Yeah, it counts. She stopped doing the whiteboard.
Can you
to do
show us the picture again, Ria? I accidentally deleted the hair. Sorry. Okay. Okay, cool. All right. I think I'm good, Adam. Are you good? Adam, you're muted.
One more time, put the photo back up and hold up the picture side by side again. It's very important we get this right. We're serious about
Mine, or do you want me to get the other
hold
one?
up yours real quick. All right. Okay. Good. Thank you. But that one doesn't count. But thank you. Are you part of the group or are you representing yourself?
Yes, I'm part of the group.
Okay, that look right there scares me. So you're the winner. No, I'm just kidding. You're back you're in the competition. You're in the competition.
That's what I thought, Adam.
That's right. All right.
Group three.
Tampering with the judges. Be careful.
Hey, that was my group, and I don't know how good of a picture this is because we were redoing the mouth right when I took the picture, so there might not be a mouth, but we were redrawing it. So I'm gonna share. Hold on. Oh shit! I have a side by side.
Okay.
If I can share. Hold on.
I'm apologizing in advance before I see this drawing.
So here it is. That's the side by side.
Huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
In the real photo, does she have a black dot on her right cheek?
No, she does not.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are we doing group 4? Okay. Yeah, see if I can. Oh God. Okay.
I described this and I'm really proud of it.
Okay.
I feel like that's the same person.
Oh. I feel like in this actual photo that I can tell this person is not a real person.
You think so? I think it just looks like a kid who just hates getting pictures taken of them and they look like they kind of want to jump off a cliff because their mom was here.
Yeah, but it's is it a boy or a girl? But either way, the lips look like they belong to a woman, not a child.
Yeah, true.
It's confusing.
No, I swear I've seen someone that looks like this before.
Okay, the teeth, honestly, the teeth really stressed me out because I went to look at the picture and I came back and it looked like that. and then one ear is
Yeah, that was my
Michelle's,
drawing.
and
I don't
one
know if
ear
I
is
did that
Arjun's.
right.
Yeah, there are 2 ears, but the picture has 1.
Michelle just messaged me and she said we did fantastic.
Because that's a supportive friend right there.
We literally did. I feel like we won because like you can't even tell the difference.
I think fantastic is the right word. It is fantastic. I mean, it
Why
is.
is she bald on one side though?
Okay, Adam,
Yeah.
we need to confer.
Yeah. Give us just a minute. Do we want to confer in front of them or
Yeah, we can just confer right here. And
right
now.
in front of them? I think they all lost.
What?
I have to think.
Oh, rude.
Let me look at my.
I watched the show America's Got Talent, and one of the judges talks that way. I'm just modeling it, you know. You're gonna have to suck it up, says Simon.
Wait, who won?
Oh, we haven't decided yet.
Group 3.
Oh, okay.
Group 4 won.
Guys, I'm looking at my notes right now.
I just want to say group 1 had the best side-by-side presentation. That's a very important factor in weighing your
We were never told.
When the
I did it
presentation
too. I did a
wins,
side
not
by
the
side
drawing.
too.
Adam,
Put it all in a PowerPoint presentation too.
Ours was a better pixel quality, Arjun. So just saying.
That's not true. That's not true.
Anyone that talks about pixel quality should be disqualified.
Let's let Adam and Emily decide and confer.
Well, yeah, that would be good. Emily, I'll show you my score sheet. All right, don't.
Okay.
All right, this was my score sheet.
I can't read that. I still can't read that. Good. Scribble.
Okay. Good. Okay. So that's
Adam, 4 was better than okay. We were fantastic.
I think okay.
Yes,
I'm not gonna lie, I can't even remember group 3.
It wasn't it the lady, the black kid with the glasses?
Yeah.
There's the one with the dot on the
The
cheek.
real mole.
Okay.
The one with the snake hair.
Medusa.
Yeah. They were all fantastic. They were fantastic.
No,
they were the
that's
stuff
not
of
how you
fantasies.
Adam, I think I'm gonna go. I also think possibly group 1 or group 2. But I feel like we can't consider Veranda's drawing because that's not fair to freehand it versus doing it.
No, I asked Ria before everything that if I could draw it on hand.
Don't make her give you the look, Emily.
did.
I got the look. She's in. She's legit.
Yeah, I'm in.
Trust me on the look. I know the look.
I'm gonna vote for group 3 because I can't remember their
You
picture.
forgot about group 3.
You forgot about it. That means that it was mediocre.
I appreciate their attitude right now.
I'm going with group. It's a tie. It's a tie between groups 1, 2, and 4 for me.
Okay, Adam.
All right, no, okay. If you want me to be serious, if you want me to say which one I think is the best, I like number 1 the best. My pick number 1. Okay.
We're all winners.
But
You want a
you
tiebreaker
guys,
or
seriously,
something.
I loved all of those drawings, and I think the memory cannot be replaced.
It's true.
For better or worse, you were stuck with the memories of this activity. No, just kidding. I hope you had fun. Give me a little using your reactions button. Give me a little thumbs up or thumbs, or give me something that shows me how you feel about the activity. Cries of laughter and joy.
Reactions.
Yeah, good.
Okay, I have an actual question that is related to this laughing emoji. I am a millennial. Okay, you guys are what, Gen Z? I don't know what you are.
I'm a Gen Z.
You are not. Okay, and I have been seeing some memes circulating making fun of millennials, and I feel kind of defensive about it.
You guys are old and boring.
One of the memes that I saw said that millennials all wore skinny jeans had side parts and overly used the laughing emoji. And so I just want to say for the record, one, I still like skinny jeans. Two, I don't have a side part. And three, what is up with the laughing emoji? Is that like not cool? Is it not fun? Are all your moms sending you the laughing emoji?
Our generation thinks it's lame. We need better emojis than what your older generation has given us. Are we not sick of it? We're gonna fight. We're sick. We're canceling you.
The difference is that I feel like Gen Z uses the laughing emoji ironically, but then everyone else uses it unironically.
Yeah, okay.
Usually just type like lol or haha or lamau or something.
But is it like
or
now
use the like sideways laughing emoji?
the laughing
It's
emoji?
like if you use these emojis like actually, like for their actual meaning, that doesn't make it funny anymore.
Okay, okay. All right, well, it's fine. I'm gonna have to go and Google what you mean by that. Let me
I
go
just
put on
want you
my
to know-
skinny jeans.
I bypass the problem, Emily. I type out like star laughing emoji like that. See? And then now, anyway, what did Saria do?
Okay, I did not mean to hijack it, but I do have some follow-up questions because you all are my only Gen Z point of contact, okay? And if you're making fun of me, I need to know about it, okay? That's all I'm saying.
And she has to leave now, so we have 15 minutes to make fun of her. So how's that working out for you? We'll record it. Let's do a roast of Emily and record it.
Go for it, go for it.
No, don't do
but I really do have to leave the meeting a few minutes early, but I want to say that you all did a fantastic job. I literally was on a break and my husband was like, what cohort is it today? How's it going? And I said, they're doing awesome. It's cohort 13. Like, they're going to be better than cohort 11. So go tell all your cohort 11 grads. Anyway, you guys are doing an awesome job and I'm really impressed. So have a good weekend. And I will
see you on Sunday, right?
On Sunday, yes. But now I'm going to officially hand it back to Rhea and Kate to finish the meeting.
So